Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. Human Rights Watch has accused Saudi Arabian border guards of systematically killing hundreds of Ethiopian economic migrants trying to cross from war-torn Yemen. They say at least 655 people have been killed by guards since early last year. The organisation has called the killings widespread and systematic and says they could amount to a crime against humanity. Nadia Hardman from Human Rights Watch was involved in the report.
We continue to receive reports that mass killings are ongoing. People are being shot at, but also fired at with explosive weapons by Saudi border guards on unarmed migrants and asylum seekers. And it's important to note that a lot of these are women and children.
In March, the Saudi government categorically rejected any suggestion that its forces were involved in cross-border killings, following similar allegations by the UN. With just over half the ballots counted in Ecuador's presidential election, the left-wing candidate, Luisa González, has won the first round with just over 33% of the vote. Her closest rival, the businessman Daniel Noboa Athin, has come in second with 24%. They'll now face a second-round runoff in October. China's central bank has cut interest rates for the second time in 2 months. Its economy is continuing to struggle to recover from the coronavirus pandemic. The reduction in the one-year loan rate by 0.1 percentage point brings it to a historic low. Nick Marsh is our business correspondent in Singapore.
We're in this odd situation where the rest of the world is raising interest rates to deal with inflation and China is cutting them. And that is a sign that the country is facing some pretty serious challenges economically. That spending boom, to put it quite simply, that you saw most countries all around the world, at least in developed countries, that hasn't materialised in China since those restrictions were lifted at the end of last year. People are still very cautious. They're saving. Prices are actually going down in China.
The Australian airline Qantas has been accused of benefiting from $1 billion in interest-free loans during the coronavirus pandemic due to its refund policy. A class action lawsuit has been filed on behalf of travellers whose flights were cancelled because of COVID. Camilla Mills reports.
The legal firm, which is representing what it says are hundreds of thousands of complainants, says that Qantas customers were entitled to a full cash refund for cancelled domestic and international flights. Instead, Qantas issued the majority of its customers with travel credits or vouchers. These were subject to significant restrictions and would expire if not used. The firm accuses Qantas of engaging in misleading or deceptive conduct. Proceedings were filed in the federal court on Monday. Qantas has not commented.
BBC News. The authorities in Russia say 2 people were injured by falling debris when a Ukrainian drone was shot down in the Moscow region. The Defence Ministry said a second drone crashed elsewhere in the same region, causing no casualties. The authorities briefly suspended flights at all of Moscow's 4 airports. They've since reopened. The Iranian parliament has sent a new bill on enforcing the mandatory hijab to the powerful Guardian Council for final approval. The parliament did not debate the latest changes in the draft law in public. Instead, it was reviewed behind closed doors by the Judicial and Legal Commission. The hijab and chastity bill now consists of around 70 articles and would intensify punishments for those seen as defying the dress code for women. Civil servants in Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, have been instructed to work from home as part of measures aimed at reducing traffic congestion and severe air pollution. From today, around 50% of government office workers have switched to home working. More are expected to join next month. Jakarta is consistently ranked amongst the most polluted cities in the world. A cargo ship fitted with giant rigid sails the size of aircraft wings has embarked on its maiden voyage from China to Brazil. It's hoped the British-designed technology, which uses the wind to help propel the vessel, will reduce carbon emissions by up to 30%. The shipping industry currently produces between 2 and 3% of the world's CO2 output. John Cooper from BAR Technologies, which made the sails, predicts they will become widely used.
I do predict as soon as 2025, half the new builds will be ordered with wind propulsion. The reason I'm so confident of that is that one, our savings, 1.5 tonnes of fuel per day. So you get 4 wings on a vessel, that's 6 tonnes of fuel saved. That's 20 tonnes of CO2 saved per day. The numbers are massive.
That was the latest world news from the BBC.